On this video, I'm going to make a top-down analysis on Pi USDT. Now, there are some few disclaimers that I would like to state. The first is this is just purely based on price action and market structure. So there is no fundamentals in this top-down analysis. This is just purely price action and market structure. Secondly, do your own research. So this is not a financial advice. You should do your own research before you take any step or do anything. You should do your own research. This is not a financial advice. Now to the charts. I'm going to use just the weekly and the daily for to make this analysis because that's where there is more market structure or price action. On the weekly time frame, we could see how from the launch of Pi USDT, right after that bullish run that we had, this bull run that we had, right, this candlestick here that will push all the way up to, I think all the way up to 3.4 or 3.3, there about like 3.3, right? From that zone we've been having PI structure, like we've just been dumping, and this whole structure we've been making on the weekly time frame is just strictly bearish structure. That is lower highs to lower lows, from lower highs to lower lows. So you see how from this lower high we drop all the way down to here, we retrace like that. Every structure we'll be having since we make those highs has been bearish structure, and you can see how even this zone here we had a lower high and we drop, or to make a equal low here we push all the way up to make a lower high and we drop all the way down to the zone. Now it's something I'm noticing on the price, right, on the weekly time frame, or on the structure and price action on the weekly time frame. You can see how, let's start from this zone, how we made this lower high, then we drop all the way down to this zone, then we make equal highs, then we drop down to this zone too, which is equal lows with that low there. Then we push all the way up to make a lower high, which is this zone here, and then we drop down to the zone to make a lower low. So this is bearish structure, like we know, lower highs to lower low, just like I said. Now what I'm noticing is we push all the way up to this zone, right, to make a high. What we did was we made a higher low. So we push all the way to make a high and we drop down to make a higher low. So this is now indicating like there's like a low key, like there's a switch. Now not only that, we made a higher high. Boom. Now if you look at this structure, you see that, like I said, all the way up from the all-time highs that we made, we've been making bearish structure. Now this is the first time we are officially making like bullish structure on the weekly time frame, which is this high here, this high here, then this higher low, then this higher high, which you are making right now. Not only that this is a higher high, this is also breaking, not breaking, right, because we have to wait for this candle to close. This weekly candlestick here, this one that is forming right now, we still have 4 days on it, so we have to wait for this one to close to confirm it. But it is looking like we've broken past the last lower high previous price made. So if we are able to break past, like this week we are able to break past this last lower high, this is indicating a switch of structure. So we've broken past the last lower high and we are also making bullish structure. Right now, what me I'm reading from this is just basically indicated to me that investors are starting to come in from around this zone here. So this is like a floor for Pi USDT. Now, like I said, this is just based on market structure and price action. So this is looking like a floor on Pi USDT. Now, what will I do? Me personally, I'm waiting for this candlestick to close. This weekly candlestick, if you can close above this zone, above this line that I have, this horizontal ray I have here, which this will now signify, okay, we've broken past the last lower high, right? Then, like I said, it's indicating a switch of structure. From this zone, I feel now this is just all speculations, right? This is all speculations. Like I said, do your own research. I feel from this zone, or potentially price might go from this zone where we might see all-time highs. And I see price going not basically all-time highs, but $3, right? Specifically $3. I see price going to $3, back to $3. And right now we are around like 0.2. Now $3, it might take time, it might take months, years, right? So if you're going to enter this like something you hold for as long as it takes. If you're going to enter this, right, you're going to hold. Now there's this zone where I feel if price goes below that zone, right? Because if we are in a bullish trend, right, and we're making higher highs and higher lows, then we should not go, and no structure should come back to the last or break the last higher low we made. So potentially this zone should be where I think if price comes back to this zone, around this zone here, which is this higher low that we are making right now. If you price maybe eventually, maybe you see price, I mean, just all this, like I said, these are just speculations. Price goes below this, then this should be indicating that okay, we are not really ready for the bullish trend we get. So if you're entering, I'm thinking, yeah, if you go below this zone, then yeah, then price is, I think price is not ready to, like, this is not like a solidified higher low zone, or price is not ready to go bullish. You get, if you go below 0.1552, around that zone. Now going to the daily time frame, on the daily time frame, you still see same price action. You see how price is making higher lows, lower highs and lower lows, right? Now from this zone, we see how what price made. We made a low, which is this, then we made a high, then we dropped all the way down to make a higher low, and we push all the way up to make a higher high. Now this higher high broke past this last lower high that price made on the daily time frame, as you can see. So this is now indicating bullish structure. And like I said, if we're getting bullish structure, this is indicating that okay, potentially, right? And like I said, all these are speculations. Potentially investors are now coming in on Pi USDT. So this can be a floor for Pi USDT. So yeah, that's just basically it for Pi USDT. So what I'll do is, like, just like I said, you wait for this candlestick, this weekly candlestick that we're forming right now to close. If we can close this weekly candlestick, if we can close above this zone, then yeah, this has just confirmed that we switch structure, right? So because we close above the last lower high price made, like I said, potentially from this zone, I see price going up to $3. That's a very long way to go. My take is this should be a position trade. My take years, might take months, who knows, depending on how volatile it is. So yeah, that's my analysis on Pi USDT.